What's up everyone? I'm Mr. Hunt and welcome to my channel where we are going to help make math easy.
Yesterday.
What are we teaching today, Mr. B?
Golly ponds.
Are you switching up some of the letters?
Ha!
Okay, I'm pretty sure he means polygons.
Whatever.
Okay, so we'll go over what polygons are, properties about them, and how you can identify them and be a polygon pro.
Ha!
Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so polygons. So polygons are a closed shape made of 3 or more lines. So to start with this, I'm going to take these very, very scientific materials called pencils. Yeah, pretty cool. So we have 2 pencils here. Now they are straight, as you can tell. And when we put them together and we join them end to end, what they create is an angle. An angle, not to be confused with angel, is when 2 lines come together, they come together at a point. At that point is called a vertex. So the space from this line to that line, we draw as a curved angle. And that space is called our angle. All right, it's the same no matter if we measure from here or there, or even all the way in here, because we use what's called a protractor to figure out what the angle is. It's not distance like we have with a ruler. Okay, so the angle is measured in degrees. So you'll see like this little O next to a number. It's different than degrees outside. All right, so that's the first thing. We have 2 lines that are straight that come together and create an angle. But to make it a shape, we need a 3rd one. So let's erase some of this stuff. There we go. All right, so let's add in a 3rd one. Now, like that, that's not a shape. Why? Well, we have this space right here and this space right here. It's not closed. And a polygon has to be a closed shape. All right, so we need it closed. So let's erase that for a second. In order to make this a closed shape, I need to make sure that the ends are all touching. Now you probably recognize this shape. It's a little bit different. It is a shape that has 3 sides, 3 vertexes, and also 3 angles. So because it's 3 angles, we know this is a triangle. And tri means 3. So it already tells us right in the name, it's 3 angles. 1, 2, 3. All right, and a triangle is a polygon. It's a closed shape, and it has 3 or more sides. All right, so all of these sides you'll notice, if we pull these out and measure, you'll see that they're all the same length. So in this triangle that we had like this, our triangle has all 3 sides that are the same. So we would actually call this an equilateral triangle. Now, look at that word. What do you notice in the word equilateral? Well, I see equi. Equi is again part of a word you probably know, which is equal. All right, so these are equal. Equilateral. A lateral is a line. So equal lines. So all these lines are the same length. We also would say this is an equilateral triangle because all the angles are the same. All right, so this is one type of triangle, but let's show a couple others. All right, so let's try one more. So we could have a triangle that has one side that's different. So let's put these together end to end. Now every single one of these ends are called what? Vertex. Correct. So this has 3 vertex or 3 vertices, which sounds really fancy. And then it also still has 3 angles. But what's different is it has 2 sides that are the same and 1 that's not. And this is a specific type of triangle. All right, and this type of triangle is called isosceles. Isosceles triangles have 2 sides of the same length. Okay, and it doesn't matter which 2. They don't have to be right opposite of each other. It could be these 2 if we want. All right, but one thing I usually think about is eye. Like an eye in your head. We have 2 eyes. Well, unless you're Mr. B who has a fake glass eye. But we have 2 eyes. So I like to think of an isosceles as 2 eyes, which has 2 like sides. All right, just like 2 eyes. All right, so that's isosceles triangle. Let's do another one. All right, so now let's do one more. Now I have all of these that are the same length. All right, we can tell they're the same length. They're all made in the same factory. All right, they're the same length. But this next triangle, all the sides are different lengths. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to, should have asked Mr. B. Hey, can I have that other triangle? Hey, can I have that other piece right there? That looks quite delicious. No, Mr. B, it's math materials. All right, so I'm gonna take all 3 of these and I'm gonna put them together end to end. You'll notice it's kind of difficult by how small I made it, but I can still make a polygon, in this case, a triangle. A triangle that has 3 angles, okay? 3 vertex, 3 sides. But this one is
the scalene triangle.
Now whenever I hear the
word scalene, I think gross. Ew.
And so with the scalene, all the sides are different. All right, so they're all different lengths. So because I know that, I can tell right here that they're all different lengths, which is also going to make it so that the angles are probably different too. All right? Whenever you hear the word scalene, just think,
scalene.
And that means all the sides are different. Okay? So those are our 3 triangles. Now, one thing about every single triangle, no matter what type of triangle that we create, one thing will be the same about all of them. All triangles will have 3 sides. All triangles will have 3 angles. All triangles will have 3 vertices. But then there's one more thing. Since we measure these angles in degrees, a triangle, if we add up all 3 of the angles of any triangle, it's going to equal 180 degrees. Every single one. All right? No matter if it looks really, really small, no matter if it looks perfect, just like that equilateral one, or even if it looked kind of like our other triangle that we did. Which was called isosceles. So even in this one, our 3 angles, if we add up the measurement, it would equal 180. And that's for every single triangle you can draw. Okay? All right, let's move on to a new shape. So far we know it must have 3 or more sides. The sides must be straight. And it has to be closed, not open. It's closed for business. So if we can check all three of these, we know it's a polygon. All right, so let's try on a couple of new shapes. Let's get rid of this. All right, so I'm gonna start drawing some shapes. I want you to think, based off of those three things we talked about, does it have three or more sides? Is it a closed shape? And are the sides straight? All right, so I want you to think, is this shape a polygon? Now, a couple things. If you look at it, does it have three or more sides? Well, it has a side here, a side here, and a side here, but then it has this little curved thing. So I guess technically it has three sides, even though the edges are curved. So is it a closed shape? Well, if you look in really, really carefully right here, you'll see technically it's not closed. It's actually open. So already it's not a polygon. But there's one more thing that shows that this is not a polygon. And can you guess what it is? Yeah, this is not a straight line. It's curved. So this is not a polygon, even though it kind of looks like one of those ghosts in Pac-Man. All right, let's try another one. How about this shape right here? Now let's think, is this a polygon? So, I'll give you a second, pause the video right here, and I want you to try to think through those three rules I told you before and try to come up with whether this is a polygon or not. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and then come back. All right, so let's look at this. Let's think of our three rules. One, all right, out of those three rules, does it have three or more sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that first rule does work. The second one, is it a closed shape? Yes, it is. It is a closed shape. There's no openings. And then the third one, are all the sides straight? Well, as best as I could. All right, so in this one, this is also a polygon. All right, so that one also works. Let's get rid of this one. All right, so let's try one more, all right, before I'll feel pretty confident that you can identify polygons. How about this shape? All right, so let's look at that shape. So, is this a polygon? Go ahead and pause your screen, all right, and try to think of those three rules and decide, is this a polygon? All right, go ahead and pause. All right, we're back. So, let's think. First rule, does it have three or more sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't remember where I started, but it definitely has more than three sides. Now, let's look. Does it have straight lines? Yeah, they all look straight. And then is it closed? Yes, it is. So while this one doesn't look like our regular shapes, it looks like it kind of has bites out of it, it is a polygon. Now, there is a specific name for these types of bites where it looks like it kind of goes in. All right, and that's called concave. And I always think of it this way. Cave is like caving in. Usually a cave is like something dug into a big rock or something, all right, where you can go inside. That's kind of like this. It's cut into the shape. And this is another concave, right? So that's also a polygon. Let's get rid of this one. All right. Now our last one. You've made it this far. Let's see. Is this shape a polygon? All right, so let's look at it. So pause it, look at it, decide whether this is a polygon or not. All right, and then come back and unpause. All right, here we go. So let's look. Does it have three or more sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that works. Second thing, are all the sides straight? Again, as best as I can make it. Yes, they are. And then finally, is it a closed shape? Yes. Now, this shape is also a little bit different than what we've been looking over. It's not so much like it has a bite out of it, it's almost like it's got something pushing out of it, all right? And this is called convex, all right? So the biggest thing is, if you can remember, concave, caves in, it's like a hole in, and convex is pushing out, okay? It's kind of like a spike, all right? So this is also a polygon. It's a convex polygon. And that's the last one we're gonna do for today.
All right, to recap, a polygon is a three-sided shape. It has a closed figure, and it has vertices. Vertices. It's like water with a I don't know, but whatever, it's a three-sided shape that's closed or has more than three sides.
I got a joke for you. Why are parallel lines so tragic? It's a shame they'll never meet.
Now, if you excuse me, I'm kind of hungry, and I'm gonna eat some acorns because they're delicious.
All right, everyone. Well, that's it for today. So make sure you like, subscribe, and I have plenty more videos where that came from. Catch you next time. Whoop.
Thank you.